Hello there, fellow chess players. It's Craig Marr the Master with another edition of Marr's Chess Lessons. Now, today's lesson is for the advanced players. And even some of you beginners and intermediates can learn something from avoiding awkward pieces. Now, once you get to a certain level, let's say about the B class or the A class, people stop hanging pieces. They just don't blunder anymore, especially when you're playing masters. What do I mean by that? Well, knights in the middle game should be protected by pawns. An unprotected knight in the middle game is kind of like a guy with cash walking around at night. He's a target for attack. Now the rule guys got to learn is to protect your small pieces, I'm talking about the knights and the bishops, in the middle game with pawn support. Ideally, I like my knights to be supported by a pawn that protects the knight from being captured. Now, you don't want to leave pieces unprotected. Now, in today's game, I'm playing a master level opponent, and he forgot all about these rules. And so in today's game, I actually beat a superior opponent rated around 2400. Now I'm going to show you how you can get to beat a strong, powerful opponent by good positional play, good piece maneuvers. Let's see the game. Okay, boys and girls, this game was played on chess.com, and let me kind of make sure that you can see the board, because I don't want to make the board too big. There, that's quite visible. I had the black pieces against an opponent rated 2397, and this is how the game began, with knight f3, which is quite a good move. Now, what do you do about a move like that? Copycat. This is the Bobby Fischer method. Now he's simply, developing. This is called the King's Indian attack. And you notice that I'm playing black. I'm simply copying the guy. Now this is a powerful opponent rated 2397, and now this kind of leads to possibly an English opening or a King's Indian fianchetto variation. And see, the thing is that he's sort of delaying the development of his queen's pawn. He's not committing either to d4 or to d3 at this point. So I decided to play a book move. I'm simply now we kind of have a close Sicilian reversed here. And let's see what happens. The computer prefers d4. Okay, rook to knight 1 is still a reasonable move according to the computer, and white has a plus of 0.25, as you can see on the right side. I play a5. Computer loves that move, gives it a star. And the reason is because I'm slowing down the queenside attack. White wants to go a3, b4, and if he does, I'm going to capture the open file. a3 is correct. He really wants to get in the move b4 without isolating his a pawn. Now what am I going to do? All I can do is slow down the attack, but I can't really stop him from doing what he wants to do. So I come out here, this is exclam, because I'm hitting the rook, I'm forcing him to commit to d3 now. He's committed to sort of an English system, and this allows me now to try to get bishop h3 in, which is going to exchange off his strong bishop. So he's got to do that. Now this is the key idea. I'm trying to get bishop h3 in. He can't protect the diagonal of rook e1, but then his bishop ends up in the corner. So he decides to allow bishop h3 and just continue his own attack. So I'm going to open up the file. Notice my rook on a8 now controls the open file. And now I invade with this bishop. Now the reason I'm doing this is because I don't like all the pressure that's exerted by this bishop along the long diagonal. So I'm going to go eliminate the bishop. Part of your skill in chess is your ability to trade. Let's make a deal. That's one of the old Monty Hall TV series, and that's what often you're doing in chess. You're trying to get the best trades you can. Okay, he's proceeding and I'm proceeding with my plan. So we're both happy so far. So the question here is, how should I arrange my queenside pawns? Should I be playing b6? Should I be playing c6? Well, I don't really know at this point, but I'm going to develop my pieces first before deciding on that. Queen c2 is good, anticipating my knight's coming to c5. So now I come to c5. That's a strong piece. He wants to eliminate it. I withdraw it to an X. The computer has a star. Computer loves that move. Now the problem with white is what to do. Excellent, excellent invading move. He's threatening to fork my king and queen. Watch out for knight e7 check. I don't want to take this, okay? So I make an excellent move according to the computer, because I don't want to play knight takes knight, because all the pressure is going to come down on my c pawn. So now he's got the file, and now I'm under a little bit of pressure, because he's not really threatening anything at this point. There is no direct threat. So I missed the shot, you know. See, the computer is pointing out that I have knight takes knight, pawn takes knight, and then rook takes rook, and then e4. So I simply missed that shot. So the computer has white ahead after this, 0.42. And, you know, if you look at this, you know, little chart below here, you see what's actually going on. The computer gives it as slightly better for white at this point. And now after that lemon, it says knight d2 is an inaccuracy. There were worse moves, but also something much better. So white at this point is kind of missing the boat, and it gives the position as roughly equal. Now I play f5 as aggressive. You know, I'm trying to trap the bishop. I'm trying to get something going on the king side, and I'm also unleashing the power of the dark squared bishop. So let's see what happens at this point. f4 could be a threat, and the bishop has no squares. Rook takes rook. He's giving up the file. I have to take his rook. And now he's got to do something about f4. And now black has the a file. So he plays f3. Computer loves it. And now the problem is, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Now I could play f4, and that's going to kind of drive the bishop backwards. But right now it seems like black's the one with the bad bishop. So I decided, well, let's chase away the knight. Let's get that knight out of there. And he goes back, and the computer likes that.
And now, so far, his knights are not awkward, you know. But how would I make the knight on c3 awkward? Well, this is how. Computer loves it. Excellent, according to the computer. Well done, an excellent move. Why is this such an excellent move? That's really the question. First of all, I want him to capture my knight. And when he captures my knight, I'm going to drive the knight backwards. Or I'm going to drive the knight to a square in which it has very little scope. And I'm talking about, I want to drive the knight either to a2 or to a4. Both squares where the knight has very little pawn support. And the reason I played f5 is because I don't want the knight coming into e4. So that's why I'm limiting. Now he shouldn't have taken. He should have moved the queen away. Now watch what happens. The knights become really weird and awkward. Notice that the knight is a sitting duck on this square, and then the computer likes my c5 because now the knight can only go back to b2, which is a terrible square for that piece. And so already white is having serious problems, you know, just, and let's not forget, his pawn in e2 is a target. So I have all kinds of nice ripe targets in the position. What? That's a total lemon. You know, that's just a lemon, because I'll tell you why. First of all, that pawn on b6 is now isolated. It's a duck, it's a target. You know, the main thing about chess is you can't attack when you have kind of a bad position. And white is he's trying to attack me with a bad position. He hasn't really, you know, consolidated the bad position of his knights. So I'm going to go after those clumsy looking knights. Okay, first of all, I'm attacking e2, and that's a good thing. Now look at the chart down below, and you'll see that black is already better by 1.70, and I'm taking over the initiative, threatening queen takes e2, check. Now he guards the pawn, and now I'm attacking his knight on a4. That knight is real target. But he also begins to realize that if his knight goes back, queen c6 is going to win the b6 pawn. That pawn on b6 is a real sitting duck target. And at this point, now see, he's trying to attack, but there's just awkwardness. It's just super awkward. My threat is rook a8, and it's just awkward. You know, knight b2 is the only move, I think, and I'm still going to play rook a8. I'm still going to go after his b6 pawn. Queen b3 is a lemon because now, boom, it's all over, folks. Notice that the computer gives minus 2.99. That means it's game over. And at this point, my very strong master level opponent pretty much gave it up, because there's no way to protect any of these knights, which are exposed and not protected by pawns. There's no pawn support for these hanging pieces. So at this point, white resigned, and that's a nice win for me against a powerful, highly rated opponent. Thanks for watching, folks.